What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we return with Austin Archie of the almighty Lorna Shore. Great to talk with you again, man.
Dude, I would have it no other way.
Ah, thanks, man.
I seen the request got sent to Adam first, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm taking that one.
yeah, and hell, I mean, you were the most watched interview from NAM of 2020, the most watched interview of the entirety of 2020, actually. So congratulations.
And it was your first interview at NAM, right? If I remember correctly.
It was the first interview at NAM 2020. Yeah,
Let's go, baby.
so
That was great.
let's see if we could top the last one. And it's a great time to be talking with you, too. This new EP, And I Return to Nothingness, is absolutely kick ass. It definitely left me wanting more. Was this meant to kind of like hold the listeners over while we maybe wait for a full length follow up to Immortal in a way? Or is this kind of like its own sort of thing?
It's definitely like a bridge to like obviously rope in the new singer, and touring wasn't really even like no one knew when we were gonna come back. So it's like, why are we gonna go do a whole record when we might not be touring for another year and a half, 2 years? Like, who knows? So the idea was just to get music out with Will, and it was also like his trial run to like see if because he went on the tour with us, he was cool, but it's like, how do you write music with the band? So we kind of just took it as a test period to see how that all gelled and everything worked. So we were like, all right, we got these 3 songs, let's just package it and throw a name on it. And conceptually, we knew it was 3 songs, so we knew it was going to be an EP. It's not going to be a part of the next full length. So, it definitely is just, songs to, pump out some new material with someone else and then get ready for the full length.
Yeah, being that Will Ramos, who's played with Monument of a Memory and Awaken Providence, all great bands as well. I think Will's a great addition to Lorna Shore. Did he bring in some new elements that we may have not have heard on Immortal or even Flesh Coffin or any of the other previous EPs?
I mean, I just think his delivery is a bit more in tune with our music, and as far as just like pattern and like tone choice, it's like pretty much exactly what we've always wanted. We're not really compromising the music to adjust to like a certain vocal style, or holding back on certain things, knowing or just assuming that we can't really, it won't sound right. So with him, every part just sounds the way it should, and I think it was like little to no effort to get him to do that. I mean, a lot of it was just, and like it was the first time I actually like just seeing someone like really taking it seriously and like sitting in a room by themselves with the demos, trying different lyrics out. And like, from the first time he tried the lyrics out, it was not even close to being what these songs are. So like, it wasn't like, it was open to suggestion, and it became like a team effort, just like, building that chemistry together as far as putting the vocals over top of the music. So I just think it's fashioned, the best in the band. I mean, Immortal is good, but there's a bit of a distance between the two, in my opinion, of just like instrumentation and vocals. Obviously on heavy stuff, it always clicks, but it's the other stuff, which is what we want to be more known for. I mean, obviously, right now we're the talk of town because, we wrote the craziest breakdown, but the rest of the EP holds a lot more than that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I thought with like everything you've put out, like it almost seemed like it was a new door that opened for Lorna Shore. Like when Flesh Coffin came out, like I thought that was, along the lines with, kind of like the Whitechapels or the Suicide Silence. Like I think it really continued in that vein and definitely had that sort of throwback early deathcore sound in a way. But then like when Immortal came out, I mean, I thought Immortal came out at the perfect time in the wake of bands like Shadow of Intent, and like Flesh God Apocalypse is still killing it with their like orchestral death style. And I really think that this is almost kind of like the time now to even open up more doors in the future. And being that you've released other EPs before, such as Triumph and Bone Kingdom and whatnot, were all these EPs just kind of like bridges, or like maybe a little bit more room to experiment? I know that EPs like always have a distinct sound between like a full length catalog.
yeah, it's harder to write for an EP because it's such a short amount of time that you want to get across so much, because you treat it like an album. Like we still have the album art, we still have everything. Like, this was a big deal. And like in the past, the EPs were all just like definitely like bringing of new members, because Triumph, Adam wasn't even a part of. That was just Tom and Gary. And then Bone Kingdom, that was Adam's first EP, and then I joined after it was already written. Toured with them on Bone Kingdom for all the small regional tours we did, which is maybe like 3. But then Maleficium was me and Adam's first time actually writing together. And then that EP, Godmaker, all those things came about. So like, we're like, all right, this is cool, let's keep going. And then, sign record deals, start doing full lengths. We did one single a while ago, Absolution Hatred, and that was, again, like a learning period. And, I just think and with the attention span of music nowadays, like I think 3 songs is going to be, it might not be everything people want, but hey, like there's other music we put out. We have so many albums, and we definitely want to work hard on this next full length. Just because it's the first one with Will, and we're really trying to push our sound like really, really deep. So, we're pretty much spending the rest of the year doing that, really trying to get this album together because, we're only doing those shows, and then we really don't have many plans to do anything else the rest of the year because like we weren't anticipating being able to go play shows this quick. And like we're doing well, but like the main focus is definitely just this next record. I want this to change the game for Lorna Shore 100%. And the EP is already opening many, many, many doors. And then from there, all we need to do is do the right thing and just write some good fucking songs, and then our future's looking good. So, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I've never seen the future so bright for a band that's so dark. That's how I describe Lorna Shore.
Dude, I mean, it's kind of crazy to be honest, because it seems like the song is reaching circles, just like really, the reaction video channels that, you have rapper reacts, you have pastor reacts, you have pregnant wife react, like you have all these different things, and then you have TikToks, and then you have all these different platforms that it's reaching that like it's hard for a band like ours to reach. So I'm very thankful for it. I'm very, 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 very thankful for it. I did not anticipate it. I knew we would do well, but like I'm definitely very overwhelmed. It's calmed down a bit, but that first week, man, woo! I was on my phone. I was like, dude, this is just like overload. But it was amazing. I needed that. I met my whole life for a year and a half. That was all taken away from me as far as just like being happy about what I do, because we just had a kind of stale record out. I mean, the record's good. I'm proud of it, but it was just, it had a really dark cloud over it. And like, we moved on from it so fast that once quarantine hit, it all hit. And it was like, man, like, yeah, we just lost our vocals like 3 months ago. We just like came home from some tour. I don't know when I'm touring again. It was rough. So coming out of that, finally releasing this music we've been so stressed over and putting out these videos and stuff, it feels fucking good. Feels fucking good.
And kudos to you for moving forward and staying creative, because I remember a lot of people discovered you guys. I would say like one of the first tours that really got you guys like the following was Summer Slaughter 2017. I mean, that mosh pit was one of the most violent pits I've ever seen, and you continue to own Summer Slaughter in 2019 it was, but like even on the tours that you've done with Allegiant and moving forward from that, like it almost seems like you're now sort of able to like tour with like a variety of different bands as well. Like it's not just the death metal or the deathcore, but I could see you like, I mean, I thought with a record like Immortal, I could see you do a tour with like a Flesh God Apocalypse, or maybe even like a Meshuggah or something like that,
I mean, those are the bands that we'd want to tour with, because like I get it, we're not directly correlated, but that's why it's cool. It's like, in my opinion, like this hype that this band's building now is like what I've always wanted, because people are starting to pay attention and be like, damn, this band's cool. And like, and I know we bring it live, like that's no question. So as far as just like, touring with different variety of bands, I mean, I'll do a death metal tour, I'll do a mellow death tour, we'll do a death metal tour, we'll do a hype tour. We could do the Chelsea Grin tours, we could do, throw us on tour with I Am and, fucking Left Behind or something, like Kublai Khan, anybody. I think it's just, I just want to be known to just make fun shit you want to see live, and like people want to take the band out, because it's like I think we're a short bet. Our fans are loyal, you know what I mean? Every time we go around the US, I see the same faces, and I see new faces. So, I think it's a matter of time before people tune in. People got to tune in, man.
Yeah.
People got to tune in.
And you have a great team behind you too, because I think Century Media, for like your style, is one of like the best labels to kind of like, because Century Media, they have like, a variety, like a smorgasbord of heaviness. Like think about how many new death metal bands they've signed over like the last couple of years between Frozen Soul and Skeletal Remains and so many other intense
Yeah,
bands. But then they're bringing on like the Mayhems and the Watanes and the Dark Tranquilities and the Swallow the Suns and Insomniums. So it almost seems like you have
yeah.
like the great team of you almost have like a great team of people working behind you as well, which always helps, right?
It's a good, it's a good look, man. I want to be known and seen next to those bands. And creatively, that's all on Lorna Shore. We definitely handle a lot of that, but they definitely just give us the freedom to do whatever we want, and that's why we can be the best band we could be because it's not really being compromised. And we take outside opinion, but at the same time, I think about the band all day and night, and so does Adam. So no one's gonna care and think about the band more than us. So we always make sure our ideas are out in front,
Yeah.
and they respect it. So that's all I ever ask for, and I'm sure if you're dealing with a black metal band, you're not going to tell them what to do. So, like they're used to that, they have to be used to that as far as just like these extreme, really cool bands, and then like, I forget the one band. I can never say the name. I see it on shirts like
Satyricon?
SATYRICON. Yeah, dude, that band's sick.
Yeah.
I think they're on I think they're either an early century band or they're on now.
I
But
don't think they're on now. I think they're on Napalm now, but I
no,
could be wrong.
dude, but that band's fucking rips, dude.
Yeah.
But like B Brown bands like that, it's just sick, man. It's fucking sick.
Yeah. And without giving too much away right now, what can we be expecting in terms of sound? Like, do you want to like maybe continue in the vein of Immortal because I feel like that a lot of people got on board with that, or do you really want to shock fans and surprise them and maybe incorporate stuff you've never have incorporated before in a Lorna Shore album?
Definitely that's always the motto, to incorporate new elements, take what we did, see what people like, expand upon it. And, the orchestral thing, in all honesty, Demo Borgir, all these bands did it so good. And, it's a revival right now, bringing it back. It's amazing. But we're definitely trying to explore different sounds, not just, traditional like orchestral sounds, like trying to incorporate melodies into either just guitar patches or because a lot of old Lorna Shore, we didn't have the production value. Like we didn't have all the bells and whistles, but we had a lot of guitars doing like cool shit. So I think trying to combine that, like, the Fallujah, yes, like atmospheric stuff, mix that with, and like Rivers of Nile, mix that with like Demo Borgir and like trying to hit more of a vibe while hitting the black metal.
Yeah, Rivers of Nile in 2018. I've always said that I thank them because they really exposed the sensitive side of death metal. Nobody would have ever heard of something like Where Owls Know My Names or could have foreseen it. People want to say that Death invented all of it with the Sound of Perseverance and Crystal Mountains and all that, but like. The way Rivers of Nile did it, and I even think the way that you guys did it, and Shadow of Intent was doing it. I feel like this is almost kind of like the new age of it. With Death, no longer being around, and who knows where Cynic is going to be now for the future. Like, I almost feel like that this is like the new era of it in a way.
No, and that's exactly what it is. It's a very honest metal band. Rivers is like full of emotion, and it's packed with that. And they're death metal Pink Floyd. Like they can write long songs that go on and on, but like it's beautiful. And Brody's one of them. They're all Brody, Jared, Jake, Biggs, Johnny T. Like they're all such solid humans, man. So like I want to see a band like Rivers, a band like ours. Definitely rising towards the top because we have the same kind of heart. We have the same kind of like skin in the game as far as just like we love music and everything else is extra. The merch and all that. We love it, but the music is number one.
Yeah, but then you got to get on a tour that's really out of your game. Like do a tour with like I don't know, like Nickelback. See how that is received,
dude. You never know, dude. We got some more Rebel Rock, baby. Like we're coming for some cool stuff, man. I want to get on this big fest. I definitely look at those bills. I want to play with Limp Bizkit. Like, I want to go do Blue Ridge. So hopefully next year we can lock in some of that stuff. Once we get some more new material out.
Yeah, and Spirit Box is touring with Limp Bizkit right now, so it's definitely a possibility.
Got my tickets. Got my tickets. I ain't missing that.
Are you going to New York City?
I'm going to Asbury Park.
Oh, come on, man. You got to come to the city. It's going to be the first metal show back at Irving Plaza after renovations as well.
Oh, oh shit. That's
Yes.
fun. That's fun. Hey, I got buddies on that tour. I got a lot of friends in the Spirit Box crew, so we'll see, maybe.
Awesome. Yeah, huge shout out to Spirit Box. And one other question I wanted to ask you is kind of like being a band that cut their teeth in the Jersey scene. You mentioned Asbury Park. Was there kind of like a scene? Because, I mean, let's take a look at the history of just New Jersey bands from Bon Jovi to Dillinger Escape Plan, God Forbid, My Chemical Romance. Like, it seems like a lot of bands were able to cut their teeth in New Jersey. Like, was there kind of like an active scene that Lorna Shore was sort of affiliated with?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, as far as just like heavy breakdown, BFW, just packed BFW mosh like stuff. I mean, there was definitely a big culture like when I was in high school where I discovered Lorna Shore was just like going to these shows, and they were just like the heaviest but most melodic, and you could feel the heart. But like a lot of the other bands were just mosh bands. Like Lorna Shore had like some talent. These guys were like the A-list musicians around here, and they came out of nowhere. Like no one knew them, so I was like, whoa. But as far as that, I mean, we were more accepted in other places when we started touring more, like when we got out west in Cali or we started playing Texas. I mean, even Denver, I mean, Oklahoma. I mean, we just like started going to other scenes and we're like, damn, like this is like where we're at. Cause like this first Jersey show we're going to play is probably going to be hands down the best Jersey show we ever did. But I mean, we've never played anywhere other than like Champ Bar and Grill. You know what I mean? Like we've never, and like, it's not even like we sold that out, So I think, I don't know. Hopefully, this starts a little bit around here because there's so many good bands in Jersey, and they need places to play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of.
There's not that many.
Oh, you were saying.
There's no one hosting these shows. There's no one hosting these shows anymore. They're all either doing the big shows only, but like no one's putting on the smaller shows that were like they're very important to our success.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of great local bands in the Jersey scene as well that I think could really get some exposure. Maybe you could be the band that sort of like the high tide raises all ships. Maybe you could be the band that exposes it. No pressure though.
Jersey on top, bro, all day.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Is there just anything else that you would like to promote with the release of this new EP and I Return to Nothingness? Obviously, we're seeing you on the road a little bit this summer. I look forward to seeing you at the Kingsland in Brooklyn. Is there just anything else you'd like to plug?
I mean, dude, I want everyone to pre-order the EP. You can go to Indie Merch. You can go to our store. You can go to Impericon in Europe. I mean, EP's everywhere. Go grab it. I know it's just 3 songs, but I mean, I think it's gonna be great. There's a lot to look forward to. I don't think people are gonna expect kind of what the other 2 songs are compared to Hellfire. So I'm definitely excited. To see what people got to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Austin of Lorna Shore and I Return to Nothingness EP coming out very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.
Later, y'all. Thank you, Alex.
Yep.